It is one of the biggest events in women's golf, and the leaderboard reflects it. Here, north of the border, it's round 3 of the CPKC Women's Open. First-time host, Mississauga Golf and Country Club, just outside Toronto. About 250 miles from her home in Smiths Falls is trying to do it again. Major champions up and down that day 3 leaderboard here in Mississauga, Ontario. Glad you're with us for round 3. From Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, it's live third round coverage of the CPKC Women's Open. Been a busy day, been a wild day already, and let's take a look at some of the action. This was Brooke, her second at the first.
All of Canada is excited to watch her in contention here today, trying to make a push, get off to a hot start.
That's the way to do it. A tap-in birdie at the first for Brooke. It got her to 6 under and within 3. Minjee Lee at the first, playing in the final pair with Akie Iwai, the overnight leader. And with Akie's bogey, that would be a 2-shot swing, and Minjee would get within 1. Leona Maguire making a push today. This tee shot at the 6th.
That slow start by Akie Iwai opened up this leaderboard for the rest of the field, and Leona taking advantage. Putt, she'd make that downhill slider.
That would give us a 6-way tie for the lead. Minjee Lee, short of the 8th, her 3rd. Yeah. And Minjee, who won her 3rd different major earlier this summer in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, is now tied with Leona at -8. So glad to have you with us here. Morgan and I are joined by major champion Karen Stupples, and out there watching one of our leaders, Leona Maguire, is Tom Abbott.
Thank you, Grant. 132 yards today this hole is playing. That tee is cut back in the trees, so you can't really feel the wind too much, but it is up there off the right side. So this one drifting to the left of the flag, but it will leave Leona a birdie putt.
Her fellow Canadian, Aphrodite Ding, you see on the leaderboard there, the 15-year-old amateur, -6. World number 1, Gino Thitikul at 10.
Yeah, sending it up into the breeze, and it just hits that wind off the right side. It's tough, I think, Morgan, to commit to going at that flag with the wind off the right.
Yeah, it has been one of the easiest greens to find today, but hasn't given up as many birdies as you would expect. Playing at only 132 yards today.
Final pair is at the 9th, and watching them is Karen Stupples. Karen, how is it out there? Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon to you too. It's a little breezier today than has been the previous few days. Temperature's very warm, a little humidity going along, but very comfortable for playing golf because it's so overcast. Minjee did incredibly well to get it onto the green surface. She found a really scruffy lie in the rough with her tee shot. Was lucky enough to, it was just a short club in her hands, just a 9-iron, but gouged it out and got it to the front edge of this green. It's going to have a little bit of downhill in this part as it approaches the hole.
Talking to her caddy, Erin Landry, on the range, she said that she was a little bit under the weather to start the day, a little bit of a cold, but maybe that's just what she needs to get heading in the right direction right there.
At the 10th, Leona Maguire to take the lead.
Yeah, you've got this ridge running through the middle of this green, which players have to negotiate when they're putting from this side. Pace looks pretty good there from Leona.
So often the case for Brooke, her 7th.
Good swing, really good swing.
Love that answer there from Britt. Great swing.
We said it's one of the most significant titles in all of women's golf, and we've got a leaderboard that reflects that, Morgan.
Yeah, it's after Akie Iwai's slow start, feeling a little bit sluggish, maybe a little bit tired after coming her win in the West Coast last week, a little bit under the weather today. That's really opened up this leaderboard, and you see superstars like Minjee, Gino, and of course Canada's own Brooke heading right towards the top of the leaderboard. It has been an exciting start to the day. So to get away from that cut line yesterday, to put herself right in contention today, she's playing the best golf she's played all year, and what a place to do it here in her home country, where it seems like every single person on this golf course, on this property, is cheering for her. The energy is phenomenal, as it always is here at the Canadian Open.
Great seat, as you'd expect, for the CEO of CPKC, Keith Creel, his wife Ginger, watching on as the final pair has made it to the rink hole. And just a quick note, Aphrodite Ding has been a big part of the story this week. The 15-year-old amateur has moved it to 6 under par. And now Minjee ready at the 10th.
What's hole playing 132? Haven't had a signal from Mikey O'Caddy yet, but this could be a big wedge for Minjee. Wind off the right. This one drawing towards the hole. Looks good.
It looks like she's covering it really nicely, staying on top of it with her upper body down and through the shot.
And up at the 11th from just off the front, Brooke Henderson to tie the lead.
Just up the hill. It's a wonderful place to putt from. Hardest hole of the week. Only 3 birdies all day today.
Putter has plagued her at times the last couple of years, but the last couple of weeks have been solid.
Yeah, she's looked really good. This is a new putter. This is a bit of a lighter putter.
At the 10th, Akie EY for birdie.
Not a putt that you could be aggressive with because it's downhill.
These two are kind of the co-engineers of this great event. Keeps getting bigger. He played it so many years, Morgan. It used to be a major.
Always one of my favorites here, playing in Canada. Just such wonderful fans, very knowledgeable fans. Love their golf. It's a short season here, so embrace it while you can.
Minjee to take the lead. Here in the Golden Horseshoe, that one takes half a lap around the cup at the 10th. Not sure how that didn't rob.
That's a wonderful roll. Quite unlucky here. Looks like it catches the low side, but without any real pace. Ouch.
She survived that exacting examination of golf in Frisco earlier this summer to win it. And now Leona from just a step off the fairway, Tom.
Yeah, from 191. This one is tough, right back into the teeth of the wind, trying to run it through the gap, but that one is short and right. You know, she's not the longest player out here, Leona, in a hole like this. Yeah, the golf course is still relatively soft. This is 165 yards here for Gino, so almost a 30-yard difference off the tee between these two players. It's a massive advantage. She's in a really good angle here. Ball slightly below her feet. But with that flag over on the left, it opens up the green a little bit. Don't want to be too greedy. This is a pretty strong line from Gino, though. Yeah, really nice shot from the world number 1.
This is Minjee Lee at the 18th. She's hit more greens than anyone, but missed it here. This was a moment ago. Who needs to hit a green in regulation? Lydia Ko loved it. Yeah.
Nestled down into a tough lie.
Off to the 11th, Minjee Lee.
Well, and this hole was long anyway, earlier in the week, yesterday, previous days, but today, because the wind is so much into the players, just added a whole different dimension to length on this hole. Fairways are soft, you're not getting any release on the fairways, so everything is just adding length today. And this one's a little bit out to the right.
She's missed a couple drives to the right already today. Something to watch out for. 8th as well.
Off the tee and around the greens. This one back up the hill, which is a good news for her, but just that contact is going to be crucial.
Square-to-square putters from Odyssey. Putt smarter. Here's Gino to get to 7 under.
Yeah, got to really watch the pace here, as Morgan said, and this one can get away from you quickly.
Played last week when she took over the #1 spot. When she had it for those 2 weeks back in 2022, there was only one event she played. So back at the top of the Rolex rankings, 9 players separated by just a couple of shots there. Lydia Ko in with a 68. Leona now for par at the 11th.
For Leona, so this one back up the hill, keep the speed up, trust that line, and see if she can walk away with a 4. She's had to dig deep on a few holes over the last hour or so, and that is going to be a drop shot. It's difficult when you miss the fairway and you don't quite get the drive away. Yeah, this is not a hole where she's going to be wanting to drop a shot. I mean, you don't want to drop a shot on any hole, but she drove it well here, hit a shot, a safe shot into the middle of the green, but just the pace getting the better of her with that birdie attempt. Back up the hill here. She should know what this does because she'll have watched it go by the hole with the birdie putt.
Got to control the spin here.
Come back.
I didn't want to mess with that false edge at all. That's going to be a very quick putt.
Back at the 11th, Aki EY.
And she got really lucky with the lie. Trampled down, bit of grass, perfectly clear, open view of this hole. This is a 5-iron.
For today. And, you know, just a lot of high and emotion and probably lack of sleep. They had a delay in travel on Tuesday, which set them back. You feel like you've got to press to get ready for this week and just can wear on your body.
Second for Minjee at the 11th.
Yeah, she doesn't have the luxury of a good lie. I mean, this one was sitting down really nasty. Only a few inches off the first cut there.
That shut the face right down, Karen, and that's going to be a really tricky leave. Awkward yardage, short-sided. Going to have to take some magic there to get that up and down.
The big hitting Belgian looking for her first LPGA title. Multiple wins on the Ladies European Tour. Manon de Roy, this to get to 7 under. Quick one for birdie.
She's putting down a pretty big ridge here in the 12th green, of course, right towards the river. Getting even more speedy.
And it has been 2.5 years since she won her 13th LPGA title, and she would so dearly love to win this championship, her national title again. How tough is this third for Minjee?
Oh, it's brutal. Really tough lie. And you got that bunker to carry with no green, but that was back into the wind. Just smartly played out to the right, Morgan, to give herself more room over that bunker.
Yeah, the only way to get it close was to hit a very high-risk, high-flop shot.
Gets the blade to cooperate there. She's got a club champion, Matthew Sim, on the bag here at Mississauga Golf and Country Club. And how about this? Brooke Henderson at 8 under. Another Canadian, Aphrodite Ding, now at -7. And Minjee trying to stay tied for the lead.
Not an easy putt. This one's going to break down to the left.
And so Brooke Henderson, for the first time this week, has the lead outright. Played well early last week in Portland, where she's won a couple of times. So Minjee Lee now one back on the tee at the par 5 12.
Quite a bit of helping wind in this one. Should be able to get quite far down there.
You're starting to see the golf course firm up a little bit. We had about a ½ an inch of rain overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday, which really softened the golf course, but warm conditions the last few days, and maybe starting to see a bit more release.
We mentioned these par 5s, back-to-back 12 and 13, not reachable. So here's the third for Leona. And she'll have that to join Brooke at 8 under par, getting a little bit better. Both Brooke and Leona trying to win the LPGA Tour for the first time since 2023. This par 5 and 2, but Gino, with her power, has given herself this look at eagle, which would tie the lead. Only one eagle this week here, and that was a couple of days ago, Su Bin Ju, and that was holing out from the fairway. So Gino, world number 1 again, with a chance to tie the lead.
As we saw from Brooks' putt, this is a quick one. Potentially change the team around a little bit when needed. And hopped right away off of her putter. Didn't seem to roll very well.
4 straight top 20s for Leona until the AIG Women's Open. Second shot, par 5 12th for Minjee Lee.
And this is a 4-iron from 196 to the front, 212 to the hole. Looks good.
Lovely shot.
Just that little bit of extra downwind. We're seeing a few players start to go for this green.
All green pitches.
I like it. I like to see that hole.
I agree.
With a chance.
Brooke Henderson laid up in the rough at the 13th. Here's her third.
Yeah, there's just over 100 yards for Brooke. It's a horrible lie ball below her feet, and I think anything within about 20 feet will be a pretty good result, which is maybe not quite inside 20 feet, but she's going to have a putt for birdie.
On Thursday, back at the 12th for Akie Iwai.
Laid up down the right side, trying to give an angle to this left flag, having more green to use, but unfortunately found herself a few inches into that first cut, and the ball's sitting down. So lob wedge.
Really hard to get it close.
The overnight leader, Akie Iwai, 4th at the 12th.
And there's so much grass behind this ball.
A thick lie.
Up to 13, Brooke for birdie.
Yeah, still gives herself a birdie chance, despite the fact that she drove it in the bunker down the right side. This one down the hill, just slightly into that bowl. Looks good. Oh, good try there.
Minjee's on the green at 12 and 2, so she'll have an eagle putt. Well, last week, Jagun Lee 5, the veteran from Korea, had the lead going into the weekend in Portland that moved her up to 99th in the race to the CME Globe, and having another good week. This was at the 18th.
Still quite a precarious position. 99. Another good week would go a long way here.
Will take her to 7 under and into a tie for second at the moment. But Minjee Lee has designs on gaining a little ground here at the 12th. 2 outstanding shots, Karen.
Yeah, they really were. But it doesn't get much easier once you get on this green. This putt's going to break down to the left. Hole is cut in a small bowl on that back left portion of the green. So judging the speed is going to be crucial here.
Yeah, that's what I like, Karen, about this hole being reachable as a par 5. It's a kind of an oddly shaped green relative to, look at this.
Eagle for Minjee to take the lead.
Gotta maybe play it well. It can pay off, but you could also end up with disaster making this hole reachable. Fantastic putt here.
How about those 3 shots at the 12th from Minjee Lee?
Enticed by the risk reward and reaped all the rewards with this one.
And she's riding high after her 3rd different major title. She had won the U.S. Women's Open and the Mundiavian Championship in consecutive years, and then got the KPMG Women's PGA in June. Now the par putt for EY. And so trying to endure that rough beginning.
Yeah, she's got a good vision actually from Linnea Strom. Linnea's tee shot was right on line. It sniffed the hole and finished about 10 feet by. So this 160 breeze down off the right. And this pairing is now being timed. They're on the clock, so they need to speed things up, and that is not going to speed it up. That's short of the green in the thick rough. That could be tricky there for Brooke.
There is a bit more space than it looks from this camera angle. There's quite a bit of grass there, but still, I believe they were put on the clock yesterday as well towards the end of their rounds. Just always a little unsettling.
It's not down towards the waterline there, Morgan. It's on the grass bank, as you say, but it's still pretty thick there.
Now up by one, Minjee Lee at 13.
Oh, and you've got to keep this one a little bit more down the right because you can run out of fairway on the left with this hole being downwind.
It has been a big move from Brooke Henderson today, but now working hard at the 14th.
Yeah, and this is just not nice. There's a big clump of grass behind the ball, and it's just kind of come out a bit soft there. So she's going to have, what, about 10 feet or so for her par, and may still be away, actually.
All right, so Gino back at the top of the Rolex rankings, as she was in her rookie season in 2022, supplanting Nelly, who had held it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much in this one for Brooke, but this is to keep the momentum going.
These are the kind of putts, Tom, that means so much momentum-wise. Even the crowd support.
Just ran out of speed, coming just slightly back up the hill. This green. Okay, she didn't cause the ball to move, no issue, and taps in for a bogey.
So in with a bogey. And now Minjee, the leader, at 13.
And she can get to this green as well. 218 to the front, 241 to the hole. You've got that helping wind, so you can land it at the front edge, and the softness of them, I think this will hold as well, even though she's from that fringe.
Just starting to firm up a little bit, landed it all the way onto the green as opposed to just in front, but not a bad spot there, pitching back into the wind. Might be a little bit down the hill, but that's you can't really think about the results and the outcome like that. You have to think about the process. And I think it's one of Gino's greatest strengths is her mental toughness, but also her levity. She has, even in some of the toughest moments, I mean, we've seen it when the numerous walk and talks she's done, certainly with Karen, when she did go on to win the Mizuho America's Open.
Yuliu, and it's been a really good day for you.
A couple of groups do here coming down the stretch, but right now there are so many people with a chance to win this tournament tomorrow. It is wide open.
It's got her attention and has come up short like Brooke. Gonna have to take your medicine here, don't you? Do what Gino did and throw it past the hole.
Flooding and mainly the ice storms in the winter. So you play back over the river, as you say. There is a bunker on the right side. It's about 250 today. Back into the wind now. This one in good shape into the heart of the fairway.
So Brooke, who had the lead briefly, now 2 shots back here on day 3 outside Toronto. The leader, Minjee Lee, 3rd shot, par 5, 13th.
That was a tough one because the grass was growing into her just from where everybody walked off the green.
So that'll be for birdie. And a birdie putt for Gino Thitikul to, at least for the moment, tie the lead.
And downhill putt. Not a ton of break here, potentially freaking a touch to the right at the very end, but one of those subtleties, hard to read, putting back into the wind. Seen a few players leave this short.
Yes.
I mean, this is something really special here. You got Minjee leading world number 1, Gino Thitikul, Brooke, just a couple of shots back. Here's Akie Iwai at 13. And she's hung in there after a tough start.
Yeah, pretty steep hill to play up here. I know, because I've just run up it. I'm a little out of breath. 119 yards. Back into the breeze. This place so long. The wind just knocking it down. Needs to get up slightly. And it's left her a really good chance for a birdie below the hole.
She's left her nation breathless so many times over the last decade. Minjee to increase the lead. So she's going to walk away from these back-to-back par fives. 2 under, an eagle at the 12th and a par at 13. Well, the player who we thought might be in the mix here, beginning the day inside the top 10, has gone the wrong way. World number 2 now, Nelly Korda, on this drivable par 4. Club twirl.
Tee box up, 2 tees today.
Walk away with no worse than a par.
I mean, even without worrying about, the struggle of her stance, it's an awkward shot. Look at how steep that bank is. Those kids weren't nearly as excited as they should have been for that putt right there.
They're in awe of Tom. Here's Leona. What a save it is.
Well judged.
Is tempo, and that was beautiful there.
And Akie is going to have a chance to get it back. And it's an extra $25,000 this week for the Audi Precision Award to whoever leads the field of those who make the cut in greens and regulation. Padre and Anna Rukarn currently leading, and it's an extra $25K for girls initiatives to the First Tee Ontario here in Southern Ontario, the Golden Horseshoe around Lake Ontario. Now Minjee Lee leading it by 1 and getting ready at the 14.
She's gone with 1 club less. It's an 8-iron for Minjee. Typically has been about a club stronger with her irons than Akie. Just getting a little bit more blustery at the moment. So maybe I've increased 5 to 10 miles per hour right now. More than it was a few minutes ago.
Those are 2 of the best judged shots that we've seen into this hole today. It hasn't been easy.
And now back up on the tee after the birdie at 16, Brooke Henderson.
Yeah, made the climb up the hill. Need to catch your breath and rip one down here. Back down the breeze, and this one looks good.
You're still on the clock, Tom?
Some gray clouds overhead, but comfortable temperatures and a great day for golf. We've seen phenomenal shot makings, big putts hold, both of those from Minjee Lee. And now at the 14th, Minjee has a putt to increase her lead.
She does. And it's a little downhill though.
Long putter that Minjee put in at the beginning of this year. And some great early results. And has carried it through to another major championship.
Well, I mean, she played phenomenally well at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship in some really tough conditions with wind, when everybody was thinking that the long putter might not stand up to it, but she absolutely held firm.
Shot 62 on that Sunday in the season opener, the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions, and it was Minjee who wouldn't budge on that Sunday in Frisco. And now Akie Iwai. Karen, we've watched her now the last couple of weeks. She's had a great season, a couple of great chances early in the year to win. and got it done with just sublime play in Portland. And now this to get back a share of the lead.
Well, I think anybody that watched this group of very talented Japanese players when they came out this year, these rookies, thought Akie would be one of the first ones to win. But it took her a long time, and I think she was feeling the pressure from that.
That one catches a piece. Left to stay at 9 under at the 14th. No problem. Got a major championship feel. This used to be a major for 22 years, and no surprise that you've got very best in the world up here at the top.
Golf Canada does a wonderful job trying to make this feel like a major. There's a reason why it's a tremendous field, one of the best fields of the year. Everybody loves coming and playing here in Canada.
Dick Ruff and Gino trying to get out of it. That may have drifted into the bunker.
Said she didn't actually watch her winning, but watched some of the others when she was younger.
Gino's third at 15. Touch of class. So Gino's going to stay at 8 under. And now Minjee tied for the lead on the tee at that par 4.
Yeah, you just have to be careful of running through into that bunker on the right, keeping it in the fat part of the fairway.
Yeah, that'll leave her a little bit of a longer shot as softly as that bounce there.
And up on the green, the par putt for Leona Maguire. Good save at the 14th.
Out with the driver, going to try and get it as close to this green as she can. It's into the breeze, which doesn't help. This one heading on a pretty good line towards that bunker on the left side.
Yeah, it's not a bad leave right there. Pretty straightforward bunker shot. One of the very best drivers on tour. Henderson.
Yeah, has been. Here's a pretty good one as well. Minjee Lee.
It is. She's got 149 to the hole. Plays up 9, using a 7-iron.
It had been a little bit since Minjee had won until she got the victory there at the KPMG Women's PGA, shaking off the disappointment of last year's U.S. Women's Open when she struggled on the last 9 Sunday. Akie Iwai, meanwhile, riding a heater after last week's win in Portland. Here's her second.
And she's gotten quite a lucky break. She's found a little patch of grass that's been flattened by a cart. She's got 134, 8-iron, gripping right down on this one.
We saw Gino out of this lie struggle to get it up onto the green from the same place. Very similar result.
Going to be in Edmonton next year. Here's Akie Iwai, third at 15.
She had a perfect lie in that bunker off of a slight upslope.
A little under the weather, as Morgan mentioned earlier. It'll be for par. And now Brooke. Tom, how about this second at the par 4?
Yeah, I think Brooke will fancy this one, lying in a good position in this bunker. A little bit of green to work with, and I think Morgan should be thinking about holding it.
Yeah, certainly with that good flat lie in the bunker, a little bit up the hill.
And now, atop the leaderboard. This just a moment ago over at 15 down the hill, Minjee. So it was an eagle putt from Minjee that put her in front of Brooke. But now Brooke's hole out from the bunker moves her in front by a couple. Back to the 16th, and Gino's second. Just a moment ago. And,
I can only imagine that was the Brooke roar there.
yes, indeed.
Kind of curious how loud that had to be down on that 15th green.
This is the par putt from Minjee. It wasn't a tap in by any means, but Minjee stays at 9 under.
This one looks to be on a pretty good line, just drifting a little bit right. It's going to be just fine.
It hasn't been an easy fairway to hit. Only about half the field hitting this fairway all week.
From the back of the 16th, this is Gino.
This is an awkward shot here, electing with a pretty straight-faced iron to play a bump and run right on the edge of the first cut. That's a nifty little shot right there.
Steep climb up to the 16th tee, and here's EY.
I think everybody just taking a little bit of extra time to catch their breath once you get up to this tee. Heavily downwind right now.
The announcers do the same thing. Unless you're Tom, and then you can take that inclinator, that
Sorry? Yes, it
basket that takes you up from the green to the tee. And now Minjee. Could you hear that roar from Brooke? And could you tell it was a big moment, Karen?
Yes, you could. No question about it. You know exactly whose roar that was for. Yep, no worries there. That will give herself a nice little short shot into this par 4.
I mean, the energy this whole week has been great. And today, before the round, was electric, but even more so now with Canada's favorite on top of this leaderboard.
Just a moment ago, Gino to clean up. Oh, no. The brilliant bump and run. But lips out, and she falls back to 7 under.
Higher plateau here than down by the river, so you're going to really feel the wind. Just depends how aggressive she's feeling. We know that she's an aggressive player, but this flag is tucked over on the left side. 162, but they were saying 173 would be a good number. This is hugging the left side of the green and should give her a chance for a birdie. Good chance.
After the dropped shot, Gino with the driver, the drivable par 4. For left!
Looks like it's trampled down a little bit over there. Might be okay. Has a little bit of green to work with.
Akie EY 16.
And that was from 111. Really didn't have any much of an angle to that flag with the bunker cutting in on the right.
DeVence turned pro at the end of 2014, now a decade as a professional. One of the very best of her generation and a great chance again. Minjee second at 16.
Just beautiful technique there. 3/4 wedge. She just looks more centered than I've ever seen her over the ball. The way she has covered it today has looked really good.
This is the second for Leona Maguire at the short 17th. She's had the lead at times today, outright, and a share of it now. 5 adrift of Brooke.
Needs to get this up pretty quickly to get it to stop.
What about this third for Akie at 16?
She's left herself on a bit of an upslope. Obviously a hint of longer grass there, but that was a good touch.
And back to the 17th and the second for Gino.
Even a more difficult shot than the one that Leona faced. And the opposite of being too cute. Taking your medicine, giving yourself a putt. Similar to the one we saw Aphrodite Deng make.
Yeah, the 15-year-old Canadian amateur Aphrodite Deng, who, by the way, is tied for 7th. And should she finish in the top 10 tomorrow, she'll get a spot next week at the FM Championship in Boston. Minjee has this at the 16th. For a great approach, this for birdie.
It's a bit uphill. The wind's on her front, so they get the impression that in spite of the slope of the green, that I don't think this is going to move much because of that.
Looked like a good roll, just didn't play quite enough break.
So she'll stay at 9 under.
Needs to pick up a bit of pace now.
Just a moment ago, this is Gino Thitikul for birdie at the 17th.
See, it's dark from our vantage point, so that's a quick putt down the hill.
Absolutely, so crucial for all players, no matter where you are, what stage of golf you are playing. It's tempo is so important. But this green is so well guarded. But with that whole location where it is today, any of those front bunkers is not a bad spot to be, as we saw for Brooke Henderson's shot.
It's on a similar line to Brooke's shot, similar results.
She almost holed her bunker shot at 15. Brooke did hole hers here for eagle. Now Minjee will have a go.
Minjee's been a little bit longer off the...
Go ahead.
She's longer off the tee than Akie's been, so expect her to be able to get a little bit more behind this one.
Morgan, you've seen her make an ace on a par 4.
I did. It's with a 5-wood, though. 5-wood at Aviara.
Could be a good
Very
line.
good line.
Oh, look at this, Morgan.
Not an ace, but pretty darn good, and she'll have that to tie Brooke at 11 under. We had a pretty good view of that one, too. Yep, Minjee, ear to ear after that tee shot. Minjee Lee trying to do what Brooke Henderson did at this short 17th, make an eagle, get to 11 under. This was the tee shot. It looked good all the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure which would be a more dramatic fashion. This tee shot was nothing short of spectacular. Landed it in the perfect spot right there in the rough. Chase it up onto the green. We saw a good one from Nelly end up on the green, but this one, half the distance, even better.
Bunker shot here for Akie.
Yeah, and it's not too bad. I mean, nice flat lie. Just have a lot of bunker to carry, though. Not a lot of green, but what green there is, it's sloping towards her.
She's top 10 on tour in sand saves. We saw that on full display on the 15th. Looking for another one right here.
So that'll be for birdie. Even with a birdie here, we'd only get her to 9 under with Brooks' theatrics here at the end of this third round. That's how the 17th is played. They moved it up today, as we said, after playing 335 to 340 yards the first 2 days. And Karen, you've done it. Morgan, I know you've done it, but for Akie, Karen, you almost won the next week after you won a major championship. And last week wasn't a major for Akie EY, but it was her first victory. And to carry it over from the West Coast, as Morgan mentioned, a little trouble getting, as a lot of folks did, some trouble getting here to the Toronto area, but different week, but same kind of play from Akie.
Well, I mean, you run that vein of momentum and form, and you know that you're playing well, so you don't have to worry about that side of it. However, you do have to manage your tiredness, because it takes an emotional toll on you winning, especially for the first time, because all of a sudden you've achieved a lifetime goal, and eventually you just run out of a bit of steam. But if she's fighting, feeling a little bit rough as well, there's a lot going on for her at the moment.
Just as in general, when your body's in that state, already a little fatigued, you become more susceptible to other factors, like a little bit of an illness.
Gino finishing up at the 18th.
easiest flag stick to get to where it is located today, especially if she likes to hit a bit of a fade. Not surprised to see it end up right at the flag stick like that.
Gino 1 under. She'll have that to shoot 2 under par 69. Minjee Lee rolled in a long one at the par 5 12th for eagle. She's got this one from short range for a second eagle, and this to tie the lead.
It is from short range, but it's not an easy putt. There's quite a bit of movement to the right. The hole is significantly tilted towards the front of the green. So she's going to have to imagine this sort of falling in the left side of the hole at probably 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock-ish. Oh, like a boss.
No problem for Minjee Lee. She answers Brooks' eagle at the 17th. Brilliant tee shot. Pays it off with the putt. I mean, this is everything you want, isn't it? You got Brooke trying to win a national championship. You've got the 3-time major winner Minjee Lee right there. Last week's winner Akie EY in contention. World #1 Gino Thitikul near the top. They go to the 18th. While we have a moment, Tom Abbott. And she was just 14 when she first played in the CPKC Women's Open. Won it in 2018 and has a great chance to do it again. Minjee Lee off her second eagle of the day at 8.
Oh, and this one's not going to be make her very happy.
All right, so Minjee, who's missed a few fairways today, is going to have to find a way here the 18th. Akie now.
Back into this wind. On a little fade. That should just cling onto that right side.
She's got all the firepower in the world and ability to take it deep, so needs to just get some rest this afternoon, and she's still right in it.
Gino has a chance to get into the final, or get into the next to last pair tomorrow. And that did roll true. In for a closing birdie for Gino Thitikul, the #1 player in the world. But the #1 player in the hearts and the minds coming into this Saturday. Now she trails by that number. And who's first? Looks like Minjee first, Karen?
Yeah, only because she doesn't really have much of a shot. She's on a massive incline from the bunker, so just going to plonk this one out into play.
Okay.
Just allowing Akie a little bit more time to figure out her shot.
Akie second.
She has 139. A really great angle to that left flag from the right side of this fairway. Still into the winds. I'd say maybe 8 yards or so worth of hurt.
Biggest strengths of her game, Karen, is her ability to hoist these irons way up in the air, which would make it easier to get to this hole location. Conservative play there to the center of the green. That's the putt we just saw Gino make.
Riding shotgun. So now Minjee had to blast out. And how about this third?
Well, she's only got 109. And honestly, it was a really smart play because she was on a massive upslope. And really would have struggled to have got anything close to the green because of the upslope. Just really playing to her strength now, which is giving yourself a good number and trying to figure this out.
Maybe not quite.
Not quite. 107. Yeah. Yes, it is. We need the flags moving. So
And there's room past it.
we have 10 behind. Sorry.
Just like room past it.
Yeah, that's good.
Certainly up there.
It is. Yeah.
Just fighting a little bit of a wind gust at the moment. good ball flight for that wind.
Uh-oh, that disappeared.
You heard them kind of talk, and Minjee thinking it was playing a little bit less into the wind than what Mikey thought. Comes up short. Probably needed to carry that another 5 yards almost.
Here's our last group
It's
of
not
the day.
going to be an easy shot.
UI and Minjee Lee.
And we got the youngsters introducing the players as they walk up the 18th. Minjee doesn't get too rattled, does she? She's withstood the toughest tests in golf. 3 times a major champion. She's come close to being #1 in the world. And Akie, part of that amazing surge of Japanese golf the last couple of years. There have been more winners from Japan this season than in any of the 74 previous LPGA seasons. Akie was the latest last week. And her sister Chisato, her twin sister, got the first win for the family back in May. She got a 4th shot coming up from Minjee, and if she doesn't make it, then Brooke is going to have the lead going into a final round for the first time since that victory at the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions at the beginning of 2023. Karen, how about this 4th?
Well, there's, as you can imagine, quite sticky grass around the edge of this green. And it's a really delicate shot because it's all downhill towards the hole.
Wow! Another master class from Minjee.
Ho-hop par right there for Minjee Lee. What a way to finish. And I think that's interesting to see them both tied heading into tomorrow. Potentially takes a slight bit of pressure off of Brooke, not having the lead outright, and changes their mentality. Becomes a bit match play-esque tomorrow. Nothing to protect, no lead.
Had she not gotten this up and down, it could have been a 2-shot lead for Brooke, to your point. Instead, up and down in 1 shot.
Yeah, it's just a different mental game plan when you're tied for the lead with somebody. What you do depends a lot more on what they do. Of course, they'll be paired together tomorrow.
Each with multiple major titles. Brooke trying to break back into the winner's circle. And one last chance here for Akie to get it back where she started the day, 9 under par.
And it's uphill at the start, and it goes back downhill into that little bowl where the hole is situated.
That was a game effort from Akie, feeling a little bit under the weather. It's going to be a round of 1 over 72 if that falls.
I can't count out the 2 that are the closest chasers either.
Yeah.
Both with a ton of firepower and ability to post low rounds. Chasing is a very different mindset as well. We know she's got an aggressive nature of game plan.
It's a player who became the first in LPGA history to shoot 2 rounds of 62 or better in the same week. That was in Thailand, where she came up a shot short. But Minjee, what a finish from her. Brilliant tee shots. Yeah, Mikey said he survived it.
Thanks for walking with us.
And she turns that brilliant tee shot into an eagle. A little rose, the 54-hole co-leader. Time now for our shots of the day, presented by SHI. Lot to choose from. We'll go with our 2 leaders. And this was Minjee, short of the green at the 8th. And that would not be the last time she holed out from off the green. That would be for birdie. And that got her to 8 under par. And then 2 brilliant shots at the par 5 12th. And the bonus, the putt for eagle. That moved her in front of Brooke Henderson by 1. Brooke tied her with birdies at 15 and 16. And then this, that's still echoing around Mississauga. A hole out for eagle from the bunker. And then Minjee. 2 shots back suddenly until she got to the 17th. Just a thing of beauty, and it would lead to her second eagle of the back 9. Then trouble off the tee at the 18th, had to blast out. 3rd to this point, in danger of dropping a shot, maybe 2. A chip in for par, and the date with Brooke. Tomorrow in the final round, our shots of the day presented by SHI. She's going to have a fun final round with Minjee Lee, who just finished off a brilliant 66 and is with Karen Stumples.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. Minjee, I had the pleasure of watching any number of fantastic shots from you today. Is there any one in particular that stands out to you?
I mean, I made 2 eagles, so they were both quite exciting and entertaining. So, yeah, I would say those 2 are my highlights. And obviously the chip in on the last, there's no pictures on the scorecard. That's what my caddy said afterwards.
He has some wise words, doesn't he, Mikey? What about when you're looking forward to tomorrow? Is it important for you to be in that last group playing with Brooke, or would you be happy just somewhere close?
I think either way, regardless of being in the last group, I would have, done the exact same thing, gone out and stuck to my game plan. So I think it would just be extra exciting being in the final group with Brooke.
We heard the loud roars out there for Brooke already today. Is there anything that you do in particular to prepare for the extra loud roars that could be happening out there?
I think because I kind of expected, if there wasn't any, I don't know, it wouldn't be as exciting. I hope we have a great battle tomorrow, and I know it's going to be a lot of fun.
No question about it. And it would be remiss of me to not ask you about how much of an impact the long putter has made to you this year, because it's quite obvious how great you're playing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it many times before. It's given me a lot of freedom. I've worked a lot on my putting, and put countless hours trying to get it right, and I feel like maybe just put a little bit too much pressure on myself. So I think the long putter has given me just that much more confidence now, and I can just putt with just freedom and some confidence.
Well, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck tomorrow. And Minjee 2.0 with the new putter. I love it.
Thank you.
I am. I can't really wait to follow those 2. I mean, the atmosphere is going to be incredible to start with. You're going to have all of Brooks' brigade out there following her, being raucous as usual, really cheering her on every step of the way. And Minjee, who's so cool, calm and collected under pressure that she can handle just about anything that the crowd or that Brooke can throw at her. So it's going to be a really good battle and tussle between the 2, who both, quite frankly, hit the ball tremendously well. And when their short game's on song, as it has been these past couple of days, I think we're going to see some fireworks tomorrow. So all in all, I'm just really excited for the day's golf. I mean, both of which I thoroughly enjoy following.
2020